Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late June, moving into early July 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Aquarius collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Aquarius collective in late June, early July? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. Let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Aquarius in late June, early July. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to have a good time today, my friends. We're going to have some fun. There we go. Cool. So we have the Helping Hands card. I really like this, and I haven't seen it in a while, actually. This card is absolutely beautiful, the energy that it provides, because there's this loving, spiritual insulation and protection. It's a very healing type of energy too. So there's a lot to like about this, but it could also be a little sleepy, tired. And I mean, we're going to get into all that. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button, tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady here. She's under a blanket, surrounded by these four hands that are kind of making a ring of protection around her. So, yeah, the Helping Hands card. So, first and foremost, a lot of Aquariuses, whether you know it, whether you believe it, whether you don't, there's like spiritual insulation and protection around you. And it does feel very rejuvenative, very healing, right? Because this does give me similar Forest Word vibes. Now, this could be great for any sort of inner work, going within, praying, meditating, manifesting, all that kind of stuff. So I love the spiritual tones that this card has. Now, if we move that to the side, this card could literally represent help and assistance. So whether you're going through a situation where you might need some advice or you might need help, don't be afraid to ask for it. Maybe someone will approach you in the short-term future and say, hey, Aquarius, can you help me out with this? That would be your decision, but I wouldn't be surprised when this shows up because it is a card of assistance. Now, the only downside to this card is that, yes, it is very, very, very sleepy. So if you've been burning the candle at both ends, if your energy's a little low, feeling a little zapped, this could be spirit just saying, like, hey, you need to recharge the batteries here. You know, unless there's one specific thing that you're tired of, that could be it too. But for the most part, this is a pretty good card. It's protected, and yeah, it's just recuperating. So we're just going to let her chill out right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Aquarius friends. And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. The energy was pretty nice. The reading was titled A Serious Win. So normally when I title it something like that, and you know I always keep the title super small and simplistic, to me it's either something that is seriously about to break through for you, or if you take something seriously and don't joke around about it, it's going to turn out in your favor. So hopefully that happened. I always say wins and victories come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Sometimes it could be interpersonal relationships, money, work, business, finance, health, you name it. And energy could bleed over for a couple weeks. So we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you. Because we can be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards for my Aquarius friends. What do we have in late June? All right, cool. Ace of Swords. That's actually a really good card for you. That's a great card in an Aquarius reading because it just gives me Aquarius vibes, the sword of truth. Okay, let's get a couple more here. Thank you. Cool. Okay, Queen of Cups. Yeah, interesting. We got the logic, we got the emotion showing up here. These energies kind of play off of each other. They counterbalance, if that makes sense. Let's get one more. What do we got for Aquarius? Thank you. Knight of Cups. All right, so there's a lot of internal energy here this week, which again doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. But we got our good friend here, the Knight of Cups, taking action right there on the back end. A lot of communication, which I think is something I've seen in the other air signs. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements super quick because I feel like that frames the reading and tells us how the energy is going to flow. And we have air and water. Now, the thing that these two share in common, I already mentioned it, that they're both internal, inward facing type of vibes. Now, right here on the front one, we have the air. That's your power element, that's your comfort zone, because although Aquarius is the water bearer, you are technically an air sign. So, this is a very comfortable place for you to be. Now, when I see air, I think of logic, I think of planning, strategy, I think of intelligence. It's a really great card for that. It deals with the facts, it deals with the truth. Um, it could be about giving, receiving, or searching for information. That's a huge thing. And out of all the suits, this is the suit that deals most with communication. So it's like we have triple communication already showing up with three cards in. Now, the only downside, and again, the swords could deal with perspective and how you view things, but the only downside to the swords is sometimes they can overthink things. It could be a very, very active mind or being trapped in the thoughts, all that kind of stuff. Swords can also be very cold, clinical, cut things away, right? Like it could also be a little mean sometimes. So we're going to see what's up. But moving to the back end, we have water, a double dose of it. So we have the heart, matters of emotion, mind. So we have this. So hopefully this is a good balance of both. Hopefully you're not trying to choose between what you feel and the facts, or heart and mind, what you feel and what it is. Now, when it comes to water, I always say it's the biggest suit of interpersonal connections. So people that we care dearly for. It could be anything that we're emotionally invested in. So again, whether it's a person, whether it's a connection, whether it's a job, whether it's a situation, if we care about it, it falls under this water bracket. Now, the water is very creative, super intuitive. It could speak about intuition, but I love the artistic creativity of it too. So now is a great time to think outside of the box, which most Aquariuses do already. So this could be great. But the downside is that since this suit does deal so heavily with emotion, it can overwhelm. So we need to watch out for emotional overwhelm. We need to watch out for emotional swings and the ups and downs. And everyone knows that everything in life has its ebbs and flows, but this can intensify it. So let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Ace of Swords. Love it. It is nicknamed the Sword of Truth. A lot of readers like to call it that. And I love to start every reading or any reading with an ace, because when I see aces, I think of offers, I think of opportunities. It's a fresh new energy, fresh new approach. This one in particular is a little bit different, especially since it is the Sword of Truth. Straightforward to the point. No BS, no games. We're cutting away all the nonsense. We're cutting away the illusion. We're getting right down to the heart of a matter. And that's what this card can do. Yes, it is about conversations and talks, but it's not so warm and fuzzy when we see it, which again, not all conversations have to be, right? Like this is just very logical and to the point. It could sometimes be strategizing too. So we already spoke about that a little bit. So I like the Ace of Swords. A lot of energetic potential with this. But the downside to the Ace of Swords, it could be very quick to cut things away, kind of like we already mentioned. It could be mean. This energy could have a very, very sharp tongue. So we're going to see what's up with it. Now, moving to the middle, we have the complete and total counterbalance, not only because of the elemental, the different elements and stuff like that, but we have the Queen of Cups in the center, whereas like the Ace of Swords is straightforward to the point, almost brutal honesty. The Queen of Cups is soft hearted. She is a tender, soft around the edges type of energy. Now, it could be a water sign that you're connected to. That's possible. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Remember, it's not gender specific, but queens represent the internal aspect of the suit. So this is a double down of that watery, emotional type of energy. Now, in the good sense, highly intuitive. We already spoke about that. She is nurturing, loving, caring, the ultimate mother figure. This is a card of potential blessings, abundance, and fertility. So I love the Queen of Cups. Super creative. And this could be like a shoulder to lean on, right? Where it's like the Ace of Swords, that's not too warm and cuddly. This one will like hear you out and comfort you. So I like the Queen of Cups. But what's the downside to such a beautiful card? The Queen of Cups can suppress things, right? Whereas the Ace of Swords does not, the Queen of Cups will. Where it's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't bring that up. I might make them mad. Or maybe I shouldn't bring that up because now is the right time. Like this is an energy that can push things down, down, down until eventually it erupts forth in like an emotional explosion of some sort. Now, on the back end, we have the Knight of Cups. He does share some similarities with the Queen of Cups. I do also say knights to me, they represent action and communication. So as you can see, we got the sword on the front, we got the knight here. There's a lot of things here about talks, messages, and communication. I like the Knight of Cups though. It's like the perfect speed. Whereas like the Knight of Swords and Knight of Wands, they're very fast, fast, fast. The Knight of Pentacles, super duper slow. This one moves at the right speed. So it's kind of just allowing something to flow, which I really like about the Knight of Cups. As far as personality traits, the Knight of Cups is super smooth, silky smooth with its words, right? Talk the bark off a tree type. It's a Prince Charming type of energy, someone that's very gifted with their words. So I think he's cool. And yeah, the creativity, the artisticness, all that stuff is in play. But the downside of the Knight of Cups, it could be very quick to shut down or hold back or refrain or be very hush hush. So we need to see. It could also play off of emotions too. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Aquarius. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for our friends? I'm feeling neutral so far. Yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Ace of Swords. See what the Sword of Truth has, my friends. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Aquarius, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, why is the Ace of Swords here? Why is it here? Thank you. Wow. This actually might be some really good or exciting news coming in, my friends. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands in the upright underneath this Ace of Swords. This is just such a beautiful elemental combination and card combination when we have the talk and messages with the Six of Wands. That is a card of complete and total victory, overcoming things, persevering through things. But to me, it feels like exciting news, or like really good or exciting news, or a winner victory coming in. Like very quick blanket statement on that. This is really great energy. Now, another little side message for some of you. When I see the Six of Wands, this is a card of attention. It's a card of public notoriety, not just public notoriety, but you might be getting a little more attention than you normally do. Or like maybe someone's keeping an eye on you, or maybe there's a situation you need to keep an eye on. That's a big thing because this card is all about visibility. So when I see the Ace of Swords with the Six of Wands, either one, you might be a little more magnetic than you usually are, where it's like I'm pulling these things to me, I'm pulling these things to me. I've seen this in the other air signs, specifically Libra, where it's like I'm pulling these things in. There's like a pulling effect. It's very magnetic. So to me, it's either that or the victorious type of energy. Either way, I really like it. But yeah, it depends on your mode. Like if you're just in your own hermit mode and you like it that way, this energy could be a little uncomfortable because it's like just a lot of energy showing up at the door, so to speak. We're just going to keep going. We're going to see what the other ones have. I think it's good. I think it's claimable. We're going to see what the Queen of Cups has. And it is very straightforward, blunt to the point, too. So, again, win, victory, exciting news. It could be all that, but there's also something here about attention and magnetism. That's super unique. All right, let's see what the Queen of Cups has. We'll see what she's got going on. So, we're already off on a pretty good foot. Oh, and then an energy like shuts down. Okay. So we have the Nine of Wands in the upright. This is an energy that's open, but not too open. It is very, very cautious. The Nine of Wands, a lot of people like to call this the wounded warrior. Where like this one here on the front, it's like what you see is what you get. I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve, literally, right? Like what you see is what you get. With the Queen of Cups and the Nine of Wands, it's like you're gonna have to earn that. I don't know why it's coming through that way, Aquarius. So maybe that's a mode you're in. Who knows? Now, we do need to see how it goes from here because like this card, the Nine of Wands, is someone that's been through something, right? They've been through a problem, situation, they've been hurt. This is a card of wisdom through experience. So when I see the Queen of Cups with this Nine of Wands, it's an energy that one, does not want to be hurt again. Two, could still be healing from something. Notice he has like a bandage over his head, so there could be someone still recovering. But it's not easy to trust, if that makes sense. So I'm not sure if that's advice for some of you to be cautious about a specific situation or person. Like even if it looks great, even if it looks good, just be cautious with it. So we're going to see if this is a warning. Right now, it is hard to make heads or tails because there's such good energy. Why does this energy shut the door? Why does this energy shut down so much in the center? You would know more than I, but we're going to keep going. I don't want to say it's a rejection yet. I want to see what the Knight of Cups does, but this very well could be someone slamming the door on something. Now, that doesn't mean you're about to get rejected, right? Like this could be a situation. It could be a habit. It could be a behavior where it's like, oh, no, I like that. That looks good, but no thanks. Let's keep going. We're going to see what's up with the Knight of Cups. Then we'll do a quick little recap. Yeah, so odd. Because this energy on the front just looks perfect. It looks perfect. Then, boom, this energy like shuts the door. So why is the Knight of Cups here? All about the pacing. So it's all about the pacing. So we have the Hermit in reverse. This energy does come forth. Like we do get action, we do get movement and a shift in energy, but it's all about the pacing where it's like the more pressure you put, the the more the energy shuts down. I know that's super unique. So Hermit in reverse, we have Virgo energy here on the back. Now usually the Hermit is retracted, pulled back, hiding. And I think I even mentioned it early on, like, hey, if you're in your own Hermit mode, this energy does come forth. This is also a card of mystery. I do feel like this could be like an unexpected talk or a surprising talk at the same time. So watch out for those. So whether it's someone you haven't talked to in a while, or it's a topic you weren't expecting to talk about, or you weren't prepared, there could be a whole variety of different conversations or messages that just pop up out of the blue. Whether you're in this mode or that mode, I still feel like they're coming in due to the magnetism. But there could also be a variety, or one situation in particular, that it's all about the pacing, where it's like if you press too hard, the energy pulls back, where it's like, no, it needs to just kind of flow. The Hermit does come forward. So, like, when I see the Knight of Cups with him, like, yeah, this energy does come forth at some point, but it's all about the pacing, where it's like the more you press, the harder you push, the longer it's going to take, if that makes sense. So there is something about just getting into that flow state and allowing something to just do what it's going to do, because it's like the harder you try, the harder it is. The less you try, the easier it is. Which, I mean, that's unique, but that's just what I'm picking up. So we do have this thing around talks and communication too. So there could be a whole variety of different ones, especially if you're here, you got this one there and that one there. It's like all this stimulus. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So very intriguing stuff this week, Aquarius. I think overall the energy looks pretty good to me. But there's just some things about pacing, right? Position number one, we have the Ace of Swords with the Six of Wands in the upright. Yeah, victory, win, all that good stuff. To me, it felt like it could be some really great or exciting news. But there's also something here about you getting more attention than you normally do. Whether you like it or whether you don't, the energy is pulling things towards it. In the center, we have the Queen of Cups with the Nine of Wands in the upright. It's like, boom, and shutting the door. Um, so whether it's you shutting the door, I don't know. It's just a very cautious energy here where it's like, I don't know about that. That looks good, but I don't know if I'm ready for that. It's like giving me that kind of vibe. Um, so watch out for that. On the back end, we do have like some surprise or unexpected talks happening with the Knight of Cups and the Hermit in reverse, where the energy does just come forth. But there could be a few different things or situations where it's all about the pacing, where it's like the harder you try, the harder it's going to be, and you just need to allow something to flow because it's going to do what it's going to do. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing. And if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out for my beautiful Aquarius friends. What do we got here? Thank you. Cool. The Hermit. So I mentioned the Hermit before the Hermit even came out. Then we actually got the Hermit, and then hey, we got the Hermit once again. And we're going to talk about the shadow side of it again. This could be Virgo energy if you're connected to Virgo or have Virgo placements yourself. But what do we think of with the Hermit? Retracted, pulled back, private. Definitely not like this Six of Wands. This is an energy that kind of wants some solitude and peace and quiet. In the good sense, this card represents wisdom through experience, kind of like these two cards. So you see this theme where it's like, oh, well, you've seen this before or you've been through it. Let your experiences guide you moving forward. So I do like the Hermit for its spiritual aspect as well, and it does have that little mystery, especially being in the shadows now. But the downside of the Hermit, it could represent isolation. It could represent loneliness. It could represent shutting someone or something out in communication issues. So I think the things we saw within the reading this week still extend into the shadows, where it's like, all right, well, if you're in hermit mode, just be in hermit mode and let it flow. If someone you're dealing with is in hermit mode, let them be in hermit mode and let it flow, right? Because you're not going to be able to force them out of it. That's how it feels to me. So, Aquarius, that's what I got for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice. The winners, which will be 3, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.